For a lot of Americans, the dream of a genuinely comfortable life is getting harder to reach. Rising housing costs, expensive everyday living, and the search for a better work-life balance are pushing more people to look past their own borders for new possibilities. Around the world, there are countries where Americans can enjoy beautiful surroundings, safe communities, quality healthcare, and a genuinely comfortable lifestyle while spending far less than they would in most parts of the United States. But finding the right place isn't just about low costs, it's about opportunity, stability, and a future where you can actually thrive. In this video, I'll walk you through 10 countries where Americans can live better for roughly half the cost. Some of these are already popular with American expats, while others remain hidden opportunities most people haven't discovered yet. Every one comes with its own trade-offs on visas, safety, and taxes, so pay attention to the fine print as much as the price tags. Let's start at number 10, Malaysia. Almost nobody back home seriously considers Malaysia a destination, and that quiet obscurity is doing you a favor. Fewer Americans chasing the same handful of good apartments means prices stay honest. Kuala Lumpur runs on a strangely satisfying mix of glass towers and street-level chaos, with night markets, mosques, temples, and shopping malls all stacked within a few blocks of each other, a genuinely rare cultural blend for a capital this modern. The private hospitals there could pass for five-star hotels if nobody told you otherwise. The weather stays warm and humid year-round, with a rainy season that arrives in short, dramatic bursts rather than the miserable all-day drizzle you'd get further north. Daily life moves at an easy pace, and English carries you through business meetings, grocery runs, and doctor's appointments without a second thought, since it sits alongside Malay, Mandarin, and Tamil as a language everyone actually uses. Tech, finance, and engineering roles stay genuinely in demand for anyone still working, whether remotely or locally. The honest catch is property ownership. Foreigners can buy, but every state sets its own minimum purchase price, and Malaysia's tax treatment of foreign income shifts depending on your residency status, which means a cross-border tax advisor earns their fee here fast. Penang, on the island side, hands you beaches and a food scene locals will happily argue about for hours, while Kuala Lumpur delivers the hospitals and infrastructure of a genuine capital city. A single American can live comfortably here on roughly $600 a month excluding rent, with a one-bedroom apartment running $300 to $500. Residency comes through Malaysia My Second Home, a renewable long-stay visa that can stretch on for years without forcing anyone to reapply every 12 months. For the price of a single expensive American city apartment, you could realistically be renting 3 or 4 places here. Number 9, Vietnam. 5 years ago, nobody outside the backpacker crowd was seriously talking about retiring here. Now it's one of the fastest-growing destinations for Americans specifically chasing value without giving up comfort. The country stretches along a coastline dotted with beach towns, mountain regions in the north that get genuinely cold in winter, and a south that stays tropical every month of the year, so whatever climate you're chasing usually sits within a short domestic flight of wherever you land first, whether that's a highland retreat or a beach town. Hanoi carries centuries of history through its old quarter, with narrow streets packed with motorbikes and coffee shops on every corner, while Ho Chi Minh City feels like a modern Asian metropolis learning to sprint before it's finished growing. Life moves fast in the cities and slows down dramatically the moment you step into smaller towns like Hoi An or Da Nang, where a retiree or couple can live comfortably on $1,000 to $1,500 total each month, rent fully included, without sacrificing much in the way of comfort or convenience. Healthcare has developed quickly, with private hospitals staffed by internationally trained doctors and a routine consultation rarely breaking $20. The honest challenge is that there's no dedicated retirement visa here, so most Americans settle in on renewable business or investor visas, which means more paperwork touchpoints stretched across the years than some people expect going in. Social Security isn't taxed locally, though the US still claims its share of worldwide income no matter where the mailbox sits, a reminder that moving abroad never really means leaving the IRS behind entirely. The food alone is a reason plenty of people fall in love with Vietnam: fresh, flavorful, affordable, and found almost everywhere you go. After a month enjoying this quality of life at a fraction of the cost, coming back to American prices can feel like stepping backward rather than coming home. It also helps that the country keeps investing heavily in infrastructure, with new highways and airports cutting travel times between regions, which makes bouncing between the mountains, the coast, and the cities far easier than it was even a few years ago. Number 8, Colombia. Medellin has spent the better part of a decade rebuilding its image from the ground up, and the city that greets you today bears almost no resemblance to the one from old headlines everyone remembers. Sitting inside a mountain valley, the elevation gives it something close to permanent spring, mid-70s most days, a climate locals themselves call the city of eternal spring. That climate is one of its biggest advantages, offering comfortable summers and mild winters that make everyday life enjoyable all year. The metro system stays clean, cheap, and genuinely used by locals rather than sitting half-empty for show, and a one-bedroom apartment in a nice neighborhood runs $600 to $900 a month, prices that would barely cover a parking spot in some American downtowns. Total monthly living costs for a single person average around $646, roughly half of what comparable American spending looks like in most mid-sized cities. Colombia's healthcare system regularly ranks among the strongest anywhere in Latin America, and private coverage for expats costs a fraction of an American premium. Here's what doesn't get said enough in the polished version of this story: safety varies significantly by neighborhood and by city. This isn't a country where you close your eyes and pick a spot off a map. Areas like Poblado in Medellin, or the historic walled center of Cartagena, carry large, established expat populations specifically because they're the safer, more walkable choices that generations of newcomers have already stress-tested through trial and error, so it pays to lean on that existing groundwork rather than starting from scratch yourself. Colombia issues a migrant visa for anyone showing steady income or savings, and the approval process has sped up considerably over the past couple of years as the country leans harder into courting remote workers and retirees alike. Beyond Medellin, cities like Bogotá and Cartagena each offer a genuinely different flavor of Colombian life: cooler mountain air and museums in the capital, versus colonial charm and Caribbean heat on the coast. So it's worth exploring more than one city before committing to a lease. If you're enjoying this journey so far, take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon so you never miss a guide to affordable living. We have plenty more coming on the best countries, opportunities, and lifestyles around the world. Let's keep going. Number 7, Philippines. Spread across more than 7,000 islands, this is a rare destination where language barely factors into the decision at all. English functions as a co-official language, taught from grade school onward, and spoken fluently in business, healthcare, and casual conversation without hesitation, which removes one of the biggest hurdles most relocations bring with them. Skip Manila's priciest pockets, Makati and BGC, where rents climb toward $1,000, and head instead toward Cebu City, where a modern one-bedroom apartment runs $400 to $800, or smaller provincial towns, where comfortable apartments drop as low as $200. A full meal at a local turo eatery, point at the trays, pay by the plate, costs $1 to $3, and jeepneys get you across town for pocket change most days, making daily errands feel almost effortless on the wallet. Healthcare in the major cities stays affordable and increasingly modern, with private hospitals in Cebu and Manila drawing patients from across Southeast Asia for procedures priced well below what they'd cost stateside for the exact same level of care. The retirement visa here, among the most established anywhere in Asia, requires a modest deposit rather than ongoing proof of monthly income, one of the more straightforward residency paths a person could ask for. What surprises most newcomers isn't the cost, it's the welcome. Extended Filipino families tend to treat foreign neighbors like honorary relatives within weeks of arrival. Birthday parties and Sunday gatherings that would take years to earn an invitation to almost anywhere else on earth, and that sense of instant belonging is something a lot of returning expats say they miss most once they leave. A single retiree living outside the 2 or 3 priciest cities can comfortably land in the $800 to $1,200 range, a fraction of what the same comfort demands back home. Beyond the well-known spots, islands like Bohol and Palawan offer a slower, more laid-back pace for anyone chasing beach life over city convenience, and inter-island ferries and cheap domestic flights make hopping between them a genuinely easy weekend habit rather than a major undertaking. Number 6, Panama. International living has favored this country for years running, and once you actually break the math down, the reasoning holds up under real scrutiny rather than just marketing copy dressed up as advice. A single person spends around $800 a month excluding rent, and that's before Panama's famous pensionado visa discounts kick in. Up to 25% off utilities, 50% off entertainment, and 20% off medical visits once your approval comes through. Panama runs on the US dollar, meaning zero currency risk and no watching an exchange rate quietly erode a fixed income month after month while you sleep, which alone removes a genuine source of stress for anyone living on a set budget. Boquete, tucked into the highlands at roughly 3,900 feet, delivers a permanent spring climate, while the coast bakes in humidity down below, with household costs averaging $2,400 a month for a full lifestyle, rent, groceries and utilities combined. Panama City delivers a genuinely first-world skyline and internationally accredited hospitals for anyone who wants urban convenience over highland quiet, giving retirees a genuine choice between two very different paces of life within the same small country. The Pensionado visa approval process can move in as little as 3 to 6 months, among the fastest timelines anyone chasing residency will find anywhere, and pension income from Social Security isn't taxed locally under Panama's territorial tax system. One less thing sitting on your plate come tax season. Panama also benefits from a genuinely modern banking system and direct flights back to major U.S. cities in just a few hours, which makes it a favorite for retirees who still want to visit grandkids or handle stateside business without a grueling trip. Number 5. Bulgaria. Bulgaria is the country most Americans couldn't locate on a map if you gave them 30 seconds, and it's exactly that obscurity that's kept prices from climbing the way they have across much of the rest of the European Union. It sits in the southeastern corner of Europe, bordered by the Black Sea to the east, with mountains carving through the interior and a climate that swings from genuinely cold winters to warm, dry summers depending on which region you land in, one of the more dramatic climate ranges you'll find inside the EU. Sofia, the capital, mixes Soviet-era architecture with a growing cafe culture and a metro system that stays cheap and reliable, and a one-bedroom apartment in the city center runs $300 to $500 a month, a number that sounds almost fictional next to any comparable European capital. Plovdiv, one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities on the entire continent, offers those same low costs paired with an even slower, more artistic pace of daily life that draws a genuinely different crowd than Sofia does. Healthcare here mixes public coverage with private clinics charging a sliver of Western European prices, and a routine doctor's visit rarely exceeds $20 out of pocket, a figure that would barely cover an American copay. Total monthly living costs for a single person, excluding rent, land around $550, among the lowest figures anywhere inside the EU's borders. As a full member state, Bulgaria offers freedom of movement across the continent once residency gets secured, and the process for non-EU citizens generally runs through a long-stay visa tied to steady income or a local business, considerably less bureaucratic than some of Europe's more competitive residency programs demand. Bulgaria doesn't tax foreign pension income under most circumstances, though as always, worldwide US taxation still applies no matter which address ends up on your passport. Bulgaria's countryside is another underrated draw: rolling vineyards, monasteries tucked into the mountains, and traditional villages where a small house with land can cost less than a used car back home, for anyone who wants something quieter than city life. Number 4. Montenegro. Tucked along the Adriatic coast in the Balkans, Montenegro has spent the past several years quietly building a reputation among Americans chasing European coastline without the European price tag attached to it. The scenery alone does a lot of the heavy lifting: dramatic cliffside towns like Kotar sitting inside a bay so narrow and steep it's often mistaken for a fjord, medieval old towns wrapped in centuries-old stone walls, and a coastline that shifts from crowded resort strips to nearly empty beaches within a short drive of one another. A one-bedroom apartment in Budva or Kotar typically runs $400 to $700 a month, while inland towns drop that figure even further. A full dinner out with wine rarely clears $20 for two people, and public buses connect nearly every corner of the country for a few dollars at most, no rental car required, which is a genuine relief for anyone who'd rather not navigate the winding coastal roads themselves. Montenegro is still working through EU accession as a candidate country, which means visa rules run through national channels rather than a unified European process. Worth knowing up front if bureaucratic simplicity ranks high on your priority list before you commit to a move. Healthcare access for residents runs through a public system supplemented by private clinics in the larger coastal cities, generally affordable, though still developing compared to Western European standards. Total monthly costs for a single person land around $800 including modest rent, and foreign pension income generally goes untaxed for qualifying residents, an underrated financial perk for a coastline this photogenic and this underpriced. Montenegro's small size actually works in its favor here. You can drive from the mountains to the sea in under 2 hours, which means you never really have to choose between the two lifestyles the way you might in a bigger country. Number 3. Spain. Spain rarely gets enough credit for how dramatically it undercuts American costs while still delivering a first-tier lifestyle wrapped around it. The overall cost of living runs 37% lower than the US, and rent averages almost half the American price according to Numbeo, meaning a couple can live comfortably on $2,500 to $3,000 a month depending on exactly where they land. Public healthcare here ranks among the best anywhere in the world, and private supplemental insurance for expats costs a fraction of a comparable American plan, which makes the whole system feel almost too good to be true at first. Madrid and Barcelona have gotten noticeably pricier over the past several years. Real estate inflation has been real, especially along Barcelona's coast. But cities like Valencia and Malaga deliver that same healthcare and free education system at a noticeably lower price point, and for a lot of families that trade-off ends up mattering more than living in the two most famous names on the map. The non-lucrative visa is the standard entry route for retirees. It doesn't permit local employment, starts as a one-year residency, and becomes permanent after 5 years of steady, uninterrupted living inside the country. Spain does tax worldwide income for residents, pensions included, though a tax treaty with the US prevents double taxation on the exact same income earned or received abroad. Still, talking to a cross-border professional before the move isn't optional here, it's essential. The process rewards careful preparation, while missing documents or small mistakes can lead to real delays. Spain's food, healthcare, and sheer walkability keep it near the top of nearly every relocation ranking that includes Americans, even with the recent price increases in the biggest cities. Number 2, Mexico. Nothing beats Mexico's single biggest advantage: sheer distance from home. Flights under $100 connect most major Mexican destinations to the US, and a 180-day visa-free entry window means you can test the waters on vacation time before committing to anything permanent. No leap of faith required up front before you're fully sure. A single person spends around $630 a month excluding rent, cutting the baseline cost of daily life nearly in half before anyone's even negotiated rent further, and that's before factoring in how close family and friends remain for visits either direction. Lake Chapala and the town of Ajijic host one of the largest, oldest foreign retiree communities found anywhere in the world, with a spring-like climate that barely shifts across the calendar, while San Miguel de Allende offers colonial architecture and a more polished, artsy scene built around galleries and boutique restaurants tucked into old buildings. Healthcare in cities like Guadalajara and Mérida is staffed by doctors trained across the US and Europe, at roughly a quarter of American prices for comparable care and attention from specialists. The reality is that safety isn't the same everywhere, and it can change dramatically from one region to the next. The areas most popular with expats are generally known for being relaxed, friendly, and easy to settle into. They're established specifically because generations of Americans have already vetted and settled into them, the same pattern that's played out in every other country on this list. But Mexico is a big, diverse country, and not every corner of it fits that same description. The temporary resident visa can lead to permanent residency after 4 years, and Mexico's territorial tax system generally leaves foreign pension income untouched at the border, with no local claim on money earned somewhere else. Beyond the well-trodden expat towns, Mexico's sheer size means there's a climate and culture for almost every taste, from the desert quiet of the north to the jungle humidity of the Yucatan, all reachable on domestic flights that rarely run more than an hour or two. Number 1, Croatia. Croatia has quietly become the most talked about European destination for Americans over the past 2 years. And once you look past the postcard coastline, the reasons run far deeper than scenery alone. Croatia joined the European Union in 2013 and the Schengen zone more recently, meaning residency here opens up freedom of movement across most of the continent, a genuine advantage for anyone thinking beyond just one country long-term and toward future travel across Europe more broadly. The Dalmatian coast delivers the kind of Adriatic views that used to carry an Italian price tag, walled medieval cities like Dubrovnik and Split, islands you can hop between by ferry for the cost of a coffee, and a Mediterranean climate that keeps summers long and winters mild right along the water, a combination that's genuinely hard to find anywhere else in Europe at these prices. A one-bedroom apartment in Split runs $500 to $800 a month, and inland cities like Zagreb, the capital, drop even lower while offering a walkable European city built around cafe culture and a compact, efficient public transit system. Total monthly living costs for a single person average around $900 including modest rent, still a dramatic cut from American spending, even along Croatia's priciest stretches of coastline where property values have climbed the most. Healthcare runs through a public system open to residents, supplemented by private clinics in Zagreb and Split charging a fraction of Western European private rates. Croatia's temporary residence permit for people with steady passive income has become one of the more accessible European pathways available today, and the country has invested heavily in digital nomad infrastructure, co-working spaces, high-speed internet, and a dedicated visa track built specifically for remote workers rather than funneling everyone through identical retirement paperwork, a distinction that sets it apart from most of the other countries on this list. Foreign pension income generally isn't taxed for qualifying residents under Croatia's current framework, though a conversation with a tax professional before the move still saves far more money than it ever costs. Croatia's rise in popularity has also brought a genuinely active English-speaking expat community, so newcomers rarely feel like they're navigating the move entirely alone. Facebook groups, meetups, and co-working spaces have sprung up specifically to help people through the paperwork and the culture shock together. And that brings us to the end of our journey. These 10 countries prove that a new lifestyle and new opportunities can be found in plenty of corners of the world, from the jungle affordability of Malaysia all the way to the Adriatic coastlines of Croatia. Whichever one caught your eye, the common thread is the same: careful planning, honest research into the visa and tax rules, and a willingness to look past the postcard image to the real day-to-day cost of living. If you enjoyed exploring them with us, don't forget to like and subscribe and press the bell to catch new videos. I'll see you next time.